This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. Oftentimes in the world of cable news interviews, there is this seemingly choreographed, pre-orchestrated dance between the pundits that takes place. And one really doesn't answer the other's question, and one doesn't answer the host's questions, and they're talking past one another. And it is a beautiful thing when it happens that you have someone on who jettisons those rules, who dispenses with those norms, and actually has a conversation and outs the other as a charlatan, as a liar, as a know-nothing. And that is what happened yesterday on CNN with Al Franken, former senator, and Alice Stewart, a Republican talking head who is a fascist enabler, if there ever was one. And they're talking about the legitimacy of the Supreme Court. Try to get my mouth to work here. The legitimacy of the United States Supreme Court relative to their overturning of Roe v. Wade and public opinion surrounding that. And I'm just going to play the clip. It is a doozy. It is one for the ages because he walks all over her, showing her, outing her as the know-nothing charlatan that she is. And it's a beautiful thing. Watch this.
Let's discuss now with former Democratic Senator Al Franken. He's the host of the Al Franken podcast, and with me here in Washington, CNN political commentator and Republican strategist Alice Stewart. Al, let me ask you this. Confidence in the Supreme Court is at an all-time low. I suppose the Chief Justice can say what he wants. He seems to be bristling at this criticism in a sort of, I guess, mild way. But nominees are now confirmed pretty much by party line votes now. And there does appear to be, based on what Vice President Kamala Harris was saying a few moments ago, there does appear to be some wind at the backs of Democrats heading into these fall midterms because of this decision that was overturned. Your thoughts?
I disagree with what the Chief Justice said. The legitimacy of the court was undermined when they wouldn't take up Merrick Garland. And you'll remember that McConnell said it was because it was during an election year. And you remember Lindsey Graham pledging that if a vacancy came open during an election year in 20, that he wouldn't vote for, they wouldn't take up a nominee. They've stolen 2 seats. The one that Merrick Garland wasn't given a hearing for, and the one that Coney Barrett was, where she was seated a week before the election. That destroyed the legitimacy of the court.
Alice, what do you think? Did Chief Justice Roberts sort of, he sort of ignored some of what Al is talking about there, and that there is a tremendous amount of controversy as to how this court got tilted in the direction of the far right.
Just to throw a little accuracy in some of what Al said there. Look, the Merrick Garland was held up because we had a divided government. We had a Democrat in the White House, and we had Republicans in control of.
That's not what was said. That's not what McConnell said.
But that's the way historically this has been. When you're in close to an election year and you have divided government.
That's not the way it's been historically done.
Yes, and when you have divided government, there typically is inclination to.
Tell me when this happened before.
When
it happened before.
When you're. Well, Merrick Garland is certainly one. When there's a divided government,
no, before Merrick Garland,
they're moving. They're not moving forward. When
tell me when this happened
government.
before.
Al, I'm telling you, this is what the Mitch.
Tell
McConnell
me when it
said.
happened before.
I can't.
You said this
give
is
you
what happened historically. Tell me when it happened before.
Look, this is the way that the Republicans went. Like, I can't give you an exact example of when this happened in the past.
You know
but
why
I
you
can
can't?
Tell you,
because it hadn't happened before.
Look, the basis for not appointing him was because of that specific reason. But moving forward.
No, it wasn't. And McConnell explicitly said that it was the, quote, Biden rule. And he quoted a little piece of a speech that Biden had given in June of '80. And Biden said they wouldn't take up if they weren't consulted. And this was about someone resigning in June after a term of the court, which is very different than someone dying. Scalia died in February. And you saw, you guys, if you can find the tape, you can find Lindsey Graham saying, keep the tape. We will not take up a judge if someone dies, a nominee, if someone dies in an election year in the next election. This is total hypocrisy. And you actually, I'm surprised that you're claiming this and you can't come up with an example because there is none.
To get back to the point of the conversation here.
No,
Kamala Harris,
this is the point.
Two things happened there. One, when she tried to rewrite history, she was checked on it. And then when compelled to give an answer for the claim that she made, what the answer was there's no answer to be given. Outed as a dum-dum and as a liar, someone who's trying to muddy the waters and rewrite history on the spot, hoping, praying that she doesn't get called out for it. We need more of this on cable news all over, on every channel. More of this actual conversation, not choreographed nonsense that gets us nowhere. What do you think? I would love to know. What is your opinion? You can call, leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me, daily@dollemore.com. I would love to hear from you guys. I'd love to hear from you on social media. You can connect with me there. I am at Dollemore just about everywhere. At Dollemore. No substitutions. That's the one. And if you appreciate my work, and you'd like to help support what I do here on the channel, you can click the join button below this video. Become a channel member for as little as $1.99 a month, just pennies a day to help support what I do. You can also go over to patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. Both those are great ways to take part in what we are building here and what we are supporting and trying to achieve, which is the protection of American democracy, to put it frankly. I love you guys. I'll see you next time. Until I do, be genuine. Take care of one another.